You guys know I'm not one to do this. I don't have to talk about every single movie I see. Like no horror movies have been coming out lately. Like, I know they have, but not in my fucking town. Great. But, I figured, like, I didn't plan to make a video about this because, it's days after the films come out, but, it's Tuesday, and Tuesday's when I go to see movies because it's discount night, Like, I'm on a budget, this is what I do, but I'm just like, it's discount night. It's been 6 years since I saw the first Alice in Wonderland movie, which I enjoyed. I know a lot of people didn't like it because it was different from the book. It was kind of dumb. I enjoyed it personally. I thought it was a fun movie to watch. But then I saw like the ratings for this movie, and Alice Through the Looking Glass and whatnot, and I saw it was like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably because it's like the first one, the characterizations are different from the book, it'll probably be silly, but at the very least it'll be something good to see. And, as I was walking into the theater, I saw a poster for Nice Guys, and I was like, I've heard good things about Nice Guys, maybe I should change my mind and go see that movie instead, but I didn't. Because I kind of wanted to see this movie, but somebody took a fanfic and put it into a movie. That's all I can really think about it. Like, I'll be honest. Back in the day of like 2010 when the first movie came out, I'm pretty sure it was 2010. I just so happened, I was in high school, whatever. I just so happened to read a few Alice in Wonderland fanfictions here and there. Whatever. I don't feel bad about it. Why should I? So, most of them are they're 1,000 to 2,000 word fanfictions. They're one-shots, you read them and you get them over with. They're basically, most of them were just like, how in the first movie Alice goes off on her fucking adventure and shit, and then most of the fanfictions were just like, she comes back from her journey, she goes back to Wonderland, and she gets to hang out with her friends. That's basically the gist of it. But, I never read, any of those, 200,000 word long multi-chapter fanfics that I'm sure exist. And I'm just thinking, I just get the feeling that this movie has the same plot as one of those giant-ass fanfictions. Is what it feels like. Hamish comes back and he's a cartoonishly villainous guy. Fucking... We have to go into the Mad Hatter's backstory? The backstory of, he had problems with his father, and he left home, and... Dude. Really. And the Queen of Hearts turn out evil because of tarts. Because of an incident with tarts. It's a fanfic. It's gotta be a fanfic, because, a real movie would not see the point in going back and, telling their backstories. We don't need to know this. When I walked into the movie, I had really no clue about the plot. I saw the trailer a couple times, and the basic gist I could gather from it was, I figured, the Hatter had gone missing or something. Maybe, the Red Queen came back and kidnapped him or some shit. No, it's about going back in time. And, they're all the lesson is no matter what, you can't change the past, right? But I get the feeling that if Alice had tried just the slightest bit harder, she might have been able to do it. The only reason why she failed was because she kept getting distracted. Really. Like, I understand why she wasn't able to, like, convince the Hatter that she was from the future or whatever, even though she didn't really tell him that she was from the future. She was pretty fucking vague. But, like, I'm pretty sure she could have stopped that shit with, like, the younger version of the Red Queen if she tried a little bit harder. But, and then, oh, another thing. What was with the, like, the butterfly? You know, he was the caterpillar, voiced by Alan Rickman. Rest in peace, bro. But, you know, he shows up, has maybe like 5 lines, and then he vanishes for the rest of the movie. You never see him again. And, you know, just the idea that, like, Alice, she falls into Wonderland, and the idea that all of the characters from the previous movie are just all hanging out together, that just screams fan fiction. Like, they all just hang out together. That's just something they do. Like, that's so bizarre to me. Like, that is, I'm pretty sure that's something I've read in a fan fiction. I think about the only good thing I can say about the movie is, like, it looked really good. Like, I kept seeing, like, you know, they've got so many more showtimes for it in 3D than in 2D, and I'm like, I'm not paying the extra $3 for 3D glasses. Fuck off. Why is it in 3D anyway? And then I see that shit they do with the Chronosphere. Fucking Chronosphere. They called it the Chronosphere. They named it the Chronosphere. They said that in an Alice in Wonderland movie. They said the word Chronosphere. Seriously. Like, I can see, like, they're going through, like, the ocean of time. Fine. But I still don't think it needed to be in 3D. But I understand it. But at the same time, fuck that. So, like, really, the movie looked pretty good. Like, there was Time himself. Kind of a silly performance, gonna be honest. I kind of expected it, though. Like, the designs are really cool. Like, everything looked interesting. Like, it kept my eyes glued to the screen, because, you know. Oh, and by the way, the ending where, like, she has to get, like, the Chronosphere back to the fucking clock or whatever, because all this fucking rust bullshit is climbing up on them. It's gonna stop time, and everything's gonna be fucked up forever. And just before she gets there, everything goes rusted and fucked over. And I actually would have given the movie credit if they had just stopped the film right there. I know it would have still sucked. It would have been dumb. But I would have at least given them credit for having some balls. Like, really? You never would have seen it coming. The idea that, like, the Alice in Wonderland movie would just end with everybody fucking dead and time destroyed. But of course, like, there's that little spark, and then everything goes back to normal, and everything's fucking great. It's a fanfic that somebody made into a movie. I didn't need to know these characters' backstory. Like, when she goes back in time and sees the Hatter as a little kid, and sees the Cheshire Cat as, like, a kitten who is also hanging around that random dog from the first movie, and Tweedledum and Tweedledee, they all live in the same town called Wits End. Clever. When that happened, that's literally something out of a fanfiction. I've read that in a fanfiction for a different series, but still, that's not something that's supposed to happen in a movie. Fuck it. That's really all I've got to say. I'm just rambling at this point. It makes no sense to me. Because if this movie had come out, like, maybe 2-ish years after the first one, then I probably would have loved it. Because, you know, I would have still been at the very end of high school, and, you know, I probably still would have really enjoyed it. But, you know, also it might have helped, like, their box office numbers a little bit. I hear they're doing pretty badly right now. Like, Yeah, shouldn't have waited 6 years for that, gonna be honest. So, it's just kind of a mistake to do this, you know. I mean, I laughed a lot at this movie, but it was kind of for all the wrong reasons. Like, as soon as Alice walks into the Hatter's house and, like, he's like, my family, like, they died in that whole Jabberwock attack back in the day. I fucking laughed my ass off because, good God, that's pretty ridiculous. I don't know. I can't recommend that you go see it. I really can't. Like, you know, I saw the ratings. I figured, like, you know, it's just people being negative. They probably didn't like the first one to begin with. No, it's just, it's not a very good film. Why the fuck did I make this video? Okay, bye.